Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into, well, a truly legendary spirit, Springbank whiskey. Ever come across a drink that's just more, not just something you enjoy, but something people collect, obsess over even, like a piece of liquid history? Well, that's Springbank for you. So our mission today, figure out why. Why does this whiskey from Campbeltown, Scotland, have such an intense cult following? We'll look at how they make it, which is seriously unique, and what makes it so sought after. We've got some great info here, detailed notes, and a blog post from a big Danish retailer, Whisky.dk. Okay, let's unpack this.
It really is fascinating, isn't it? How one single distillery grabs so much attention, especially, when so much of the industry has shifted towards, mass production. Springbank isn't just whiskey. It's really about a philosophy, a dedication to craft, authenticity, and that's becoming rarer. So you're about to find out why people call it the Whiskey Nerds Distillery and what independent really means in their case. It's quite a story.
Yeah, that independence thing really jumps out. The sources call it the most independent distillery in Scotland. I mean, that's a huge claim, right?
Yeah.
In Scotland, of all places. What does that actually mean in practice? Like, how does it change the whiskey itself? Is it just bragging rights?
Well, it's much more than bragging rights. It's absolutely critical to what they are. Unlike pretty much everyone else, Springbank does everything themselves, on site, and I mean everything. From floor malting the barley.
Which is super rare now, isn't it? That old school way.
Exactly. Almost nobody does it anymore. It's slow, it's laborious, spreading the barley on concrete, turning it by hand, but it gives them incredible control over germination. Many believe that's key to the texture, that sort of oily, complex mouthfeel Springbank has. So, the malting, then the distilling, maturing it in their own warehouses right there in Campbeltown, and even the bottling, all in-house. This complete control, this traditional integrated approach. It's almost unheard of today, maybe a couple of others worldwide. It means they dictate every single detail. It's about the final whiskey, not, optimizing the process for cost. Quality first.
Wow. You can just imagine the spreadsheets screaming inefficiency.
Yeah.
It really does sound like a philosophy. And this commitment, this way of doing things, it feels like it must be tied to their history, doesn't it? Being the survivor in Campbeltown.
Absolutely. You can't separate Springbank from Campbeltown's story. This town, back in the 1800s, it was literally called the whiskey capital of the world.
Yep.
Over 30 distilleries crammed in there.
30. Wow. Hard to picture now.
Right. The whole place must have just hummed with whiskey production. The smell. Amazing. But then things changed. Prohibition over the U.S., economic shifts, changing tastes, most of them just vanished. Springbank started in 1828. Archibald Mitchell, and get this, it's still run by the same family, fifth generation Mitchells.
Still family run after almost 200 years. That's incredible continuity.
It is, and that continuity, that dedication to their way of doing things, is probably why they survived when almost everyone else folded. They stuck to their guns on quality. It's resilience personified, really.
That history really adds weight to their independent claim. It's earned. But, for a place so rooted in tradition, it's interesting they don't just make one whiskey. They do 3 distinct styles. How does that work under one roof?
Yeah, that's another layer of what makes them special. It shows incredible skill and versatility. So you get the main one, Springbank itself. That's the classic Campbeltown malt. It's complex, rich, got that seaside tang, It's lightly peated. They distill it, get this, 2.5 times.
2.5? How does that even work?
It's a bit technical, involves recycling parts of the run, but it results in this unique balance. Not too heavy, not too light. Think of the tasting notes for the older ones. Like a 30-year-old, you get rape fruit, walnuts, honey, spice, that maritime edge. Even the standard 10-year-old is amazingly complex. Heather, honey, pears, pepper, oyster shells, peaches, salty umami, light peat smoke, soot even. It's all in there.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. So that's Springbank. What are the other 2?
Right. Then you have Longrow. This one's for the peat heads. It's heavily peated. And it's double distilled, which gives it a more robust, powerful character, lets that smoke really come through. It's actually named after an old, lost distillery nearby. So, again, that connection to history.
So more like an Islay style, but Campbeltown.
Sort of, yeah. But still with that Campbeltown DNA. Think sweet peat smoke, maritime notes, really full-bodied. The Longrow 21 is a great example. And the third one is Hazelburn. This is the complete opposite. It's triple distilled, like some Irish whiskeys. And crucially, it's completely unpeated.
So that triple distillation makes it lighter, smoother.
Exactly. It removes more of the heavier elements, resulting in a much fresher, more delicate spirit. They often use interesting casks for Hazelburn, too, like the Marsala cask release mentioned in the source. Shows off that lighter spirit really well.
3 totally different styles from one place. That's mastery, really.
It really is. Shows you the depth of their knowledge and control over the whole process.
Okay, so we have these amazing single malts, but the sources also mention blended malts from Campbeltown. What's the story there? Are they like entry-level Campbelltown?
You could see them that way sometimes, yeah. Or just a different expression of the region. They're often fantastic value and a great way to experience that overall Campbelltown character. Take Campbelltown Lock. It's a blended malt, meaning it only uses single malt whiskeys, but from different distilleries. In this case, it uses spirit from all 3 operating distilleries in Campbelltown Springbank, including Longrow and Hazelburn styles, and Glengyle, their sister distillery.
So it's like a snapshot of the whole region in a bottle.
Pretty much. The notes mention things like beeswax, graphite, peaches, ginger biscuits, cinnamon, oranges, a real tapestry of flavors, matured in both ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks usually. Then there's another one called the Gauldrons from Douglas Lang, again a Campbelltown blended malt, showcasing whiskeys from the area. They do special batches like sherry cask one with spicy, smoky, salty, sweet notes, or a cask strength version, powerful stuff, limited bottles, cool, glow-in-the-dark label apparently.
Huh. Okay, so these blends offer another way in. Good to know. Right, we've covered the independence, the history, the sheer variety. So now, the big question. How does this all add up to this cult status, the intense demand? I mean, here's where it gets really interesting, right? Why do people chase these bottles so hard? And, maybe playing devil's advocate, does that scarcity make it kind of inaccessible for someone just wanting a nice dram?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yes, accessibility is definitely part of the conversation. It really boils down to a perfect storm of factors. First, as we've discussed, authenticity. That absolute commitment to doing things the hard way, the traditional way, no cutting corners. People really value that today. It feels genuine.
Like an antidote to mass production.
Exactly. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. They're just being Springbank. And that resonates. Second, and this is crucial, limited production. Because they do things this way, they just don't make very much whiskey compared to the big players. The output is tiny relative to global demand. So the scarcity is real. It's not some marketing gimmick. Bottles are hard to get.
Which naturally makes them more desirable.
Right. Basic supply and demand. That rarity makes them even more coveted, as the source material puts it. It adds to the thrill of the hunt for collectors. And that directly feeds into the collector's value. Older Springbanks, limited editions, they fetch serious money at auction. That Springbank 30-year-old 2022 released only 1,400 bottles worldwide, priced at nearly 25,000 Danish kroner. That's serious investment territory.
Wow. Okay, so it becomes more than just a drink.
For many, yes. It's owning something rare, prestigious, a piece of that history we talked about. And finally, let's not forget the distinctive taste profile. Ultimately, people wouldn't chase as if it wasn't great whiskey. That unique depth, the oily texture, that complex mix of peat, sea salt, fruit, spice. It's just different. It stands out. Highly prized by those who know.
So authenticity, scarcity, collectability, and taste. That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, about accessibility, you're right. The high prices and the difficulty finding bottles can be frustrating for newcomers. It can feel exclusionary. But for the dedicated fans, the whiskey nerds, that challenge is almost part of the appeal. It signifies discernment, finding something special. It reinforces the idea that this is something precious, made with care, not just another bottle on the shelf.
And you mentioned retailers playing a role here, like Whisky.dk, where our source material came from. They seem key in connecting these enthusiasts with the bottle.
Absolutely key. Retailers like Whisky.dk are crucial. They're Denmark's biggest, founded back in 2012.
Right.
They really understand this niche. They don't just sell whiskey, they curate it. They have a huge selection, obviously including Springbank when they can get it. But more than that, they cater to the community. They have this massive 500 square meter showroom near Kolding. Imagine walking into that.
Like a library, but for whiskey.
It's exactly. Thousands of bottles. And they do tastings, master classes. They build that community connection. They're not just shifting boxes. They're fostering that passion. They're a vital link in this whole Springbank ecosystem.
Okay, so we've really gone deep today. From Springbank's fierce independence and traditional methods that floor malting, the 2.5 times distillation, to its incredible history of survival in Campbelltown and the amazing range they produce. Springbank, Longrow, Hazelburn, all under one roof. We've seen how all this creates that perfect storm, that cult status, making it a holy grail for collectors and connoisseurs. So what's the takeaway here for you, listening in? Whether you're deep into whiskey or just curious, I think it's a powerful reminder, isn't it, about the value of craft, of sticking to your principles.
Definitely. And if you zoom out a bit, Springbank's story tells us something important about what we value now. In a world that's often pushing for faster, cheaper, more uniform, there's this deep, almost primal pull towards things made with real dedication, things with a story, with provenance. Think about that idea of terroir in whiskey. How much does Campbeltown itself, the sea air, the water, the history-shaped Springbank, that sense of place, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does that concept influence other things you enjoy? Maybe craft beer, artisan cheese, handmade furniture, anything where the origin and the process are a part of the appeal. How does that uniqueness drive demand and value? And maybe ask yourself, what other things do you seek out, specifically because they prioritize heritage and process over just pumping out volume? What does that say about what you value today?